Hello people, another Astra upgrade video. This is a continuation from the Bluetooth install, where I'm going to explain what connections you need to make to create that wire, which will then connect your stereo, the Bluetooth module. I'll also be showing you how to change the display. So if you're actually just retrofitting the module, you need to change the display to be able to display the phone information, otherwise you can't do anything with it, it'll just sit there. Okay, and to start with, I was very lucky to find in my car that I had this loom. It's a complete loom from Euro or plug to plug. It was from an old car phone setup. I'm talking old. It looked like it could only take something like a, Nokia 3310 or something like that. But anyway, it had 5 of the wires that needed for the Bluetooth module. I had to add the 2 CAN bus wires, but I'll now show you with the display, the design on top of the stereo, what you need to connect there. I'll also do the same with the Bluetooth module. So to start with, get the stereo. Everyone probably knows this stereo. Alright. You will need to connect. You will need to make connections for CAN H and CAN L. They're the CAN bus lines. That's what I had to add. You need one for the mute, one for the ground, and one for the 12 volt plus. You'll also need one for the PH plus and the PH minus. I don't know if you want to splice those into the car loom, or if you can find one of those connection things, you can use that, because then you don't damage the stock stuff. Alright, now on to the Bluetooth module. The Bluetooth module is luckily got the plans on it. On here, this is where it gets a bit interesting, and this is the bit I couldn't find online because I found the pinouts, but no one actually told me about this or mentioned it. But what you need is you need to connect the ground to pin 16, obviously 12 volts to pin 32. Now, the module has a CAN bus pass-through, so it doesn't matter which side of the one you connect to, as long as obviously the minus is connected to minus on stereo, plus is plus on stereo, just a bit like that. Right, Tel Audio and Tel Audio plus and minus, they go to PH plus and minus on the head unit. Makes sense, really. The next things you need are the mic ground and the mic plus. Now, you don't necessarily need to connect the mic ground as long as you've got a ground with the mic, which is where the next bit comes in. If you look down, it says mic out plus, mic out negative. Those are for the powered microphone. If you had managed to get one of the original Vauxhall Astra microphones, that's where you connect the power. Now, I couldn't get one of those because they're ridiculously expensive. We're talking like 50 quid type jobby. So I then decided just to buy a CCTV powered microphone. You get them on eBay for £2, £5, something like that. Mine cost me £2.50 or something. And you have to do a little bit of twiddling, because this module works, basically it needs to have a high gain microphone input, because if you plug in one of them old microphones you get from, these Bluetooth car stereos that are all the rage, you will have very quiet voice. Basically it's a whisper, not even that. I got my missus to record me ringing her, and you could barely hear me even at the top volume. So basically that's how you power it up. The issue I found though is the mic out and mic plus, both the mic out on this module, they're low voltage, and the mic I got only runs from 6 volts up to 14, and it didn't work. I'm scratching my head. I explained this in the other video, but what you need is, if you get in a second, like a third party mic that is powered and it needs higher voltage, just take it off the ground and battery inputs on the module and you'll be fine. It works fine. So that's that bit done. Now the problem is, if you don't have that connector, the connector for that, and what you have to do for that, which is quite handy, is you have to find one of these. Okay, and this is, well, the Vauxhall people might recognise it. This is the connector that is used not only for the Bluetooth module, it's also used in the infotainment display and the heater controls. So I just went to scrapyard, got one out of the heater controls with one that was there, and all's well and good. And what you do is, it will have a cable tie around there. You just undo it and you pull out this black thing. Let me just see if I can do it. I don't think I probably can now. Oh, there we go. Yep, there we go. And when you get them, obviously, unless you happen to have the one for the Bluetooth, the pinouts will be wrong. So you take that off, and everyone knows how these work. You just put something in the little hole, and then the wire just comes out. So as you see there, I've moved them all to where they need to be. I see I've missed out the ground, because when I was putting the mic in, which I put up here, I was also running the power for that mirror and the rain sensor. So I've got a ground up there, so I don't need the ground here. But the only downside of this is, and this is where you don't need to worry, if you're going to the Opcom, use the Opcom, and you check your error codes, the error codes, the module will come up with an error code for mic circuit open, because you aren't using the mic circuit power, because obviously unless you have the fitted one, the one that come with the cars, it's going to be lacking voltage, so you need to use the other one. So if you ever have that, don't worry, there's not much you can do about it unless you want to connect it to something just so it doesn't register as a problem. But anyway, that's how you make that wire. Now for the next bit, I've temporarily disabled it on mine just to show you. This is a GID 3-line display. Now I presume that the 2-line will be pretty much similar, just not so much information, and and that's how you do it. So that's what it should look like if you don't have the Bluetooth module connected. So what you need to do to get it to come up, I have shown this in another video, but I thought I'd put it into this one as well, just so you've got everything in one place. So you need to go to your Opcom, you go to diagnostics, go to your year of car, and obviously your model of car, infotainment system, the display you have. Now I presume this works on all of the displays that can do it, like the GID and the CID. I think the only ones that can really do this, but if anyone's played around with the BID, be interesting to know. Let load. So you go into programming, you then change program variant configuration. As you see, I've disabled the Bluetooth, the phone module, so you put that back in, or you put it in, and then you go to program. Now when you program, that will say yep, the changes will happen, the screen will go blank, it'll come back, and there you go. You see I've got the 3 tabs. Because I haven't got it connected, obviously the little phone thing isn't there. That is how you get your screen to show up the module if you're adding it into your existing setup. And from what I can gather, because I've had a look through the settings, is that you don't need to use the security code to add the Bluetooth module, because there isn't an option to activate and deactivate the anti-theft like there is on the screen and the stereo. So you should just be able to plug it in and off it goes. Okay, And just for one more thing, one thing you've got to remember, and I forget this sometimes, if you wire in to the positive on the module, I believe it is on all the time. I'm not 100% sure of that, but I think it is on all the time. So you can always use the phone. You just have to turn the stereo on first. But if you're doing what I did, which is wiring that thing, obviously I don't want that on all the time, because at night the little light comes on at the bottom, which is under there, and it's on all the time, because obviously it's dark and it thinks it needs to be on, and it will drain your battery. So I personally put the power wire, the 12 volt, I put it into the connection below the lighter that everyone knows about, so it comes on with the ignition. The main downside to that is, remember, you can't use, the module won't detect the microphone working if you don't have the ignition on, because obviously it won't work. But that's how you wire it up. And that I will possibly put diagrams up, but I think I've explained it well enough that it's pretty self-explanatory, really, if you look at the two diagrams. Luckily the Bluetooth module has its diagram on it, unlike another module I won't mention, DAB45. Anyway, that's how you do that. I will stop for a second because I'm going to wire it all back up, and I'll show you a couple of features with the Bluetooth module installed and with the mic working. Be back in a sec. Back. I've got it reinstalled. Everything's working again. Now it's up and running. I would like to show you one of the features of this. I've seen it on the videos on YouTube for the Astra J, and probably the newer ones, but I've never actually seen one how to set it up on here, or how to use it. And that is voice control for the Bluetooth. And to do that, you have to use these. This is your voice control button. When you press it, a little icon appears on the screen. You say what you want, and it will hopefully do it. This one is to cut off the call once you're in the call. This you use for when someone calls you, it comes up with accept or cancel, and you select which one you want and you press the button. Obviously it does what you want. Right. One thing that you can do is you can ask it to tell you what it accepts. So to do that, you press the button and say help. So I'll do that now. Help.
The commands that can be used to control your telephone are call, redial, save, delete, phone book, help, or cancel.
So you see there's a few different commands there. And the one call is obviously the one you use to call people. Now I don't know if you actually have to say call, because sometimes I'll just press it, say the name, and it does it. And sometimes I use the call, so I don't actually know which way it does it best. But anyway, when you've set it up, the Bluetooth system has to be told which name to number, obviously. You can't just connect your phone up and go call husband, call wife, because it'll just come back and say there's no one of that name, or no name file found, something like that. Anyway, so when you've done that, when you've connected up, I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. You go to your page. We use wife, and you see next to her name she has a little icon, which means that I've set it up for her so that I can just say call wife, it'll call her. She normally answers and says no, go away, but hey ho. But just for this, I've set up a dummy number, which is, as you see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Now I'm going to go through the process of setting up the contact so that I can use that. So basically, and how you do that is you press the button, you have to say save, and she'll ask you for the name. So watch. Save.
The name, please.
Test.
The number, please.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now?
Now, here's something I did discover. She won't understand O, as in the number O. You have to say 0, otherwise she'll give you some random number. 9, 0, 7, 2, 1, 1, 7, 1, 0, 5, 0. Did I say any of those? I don't think so. But anyway, right, we'll go out of that. We'll do it again, just to show you how it works properly. So, save.
The name, please.
Test.
Invalid or already used name. Please choose another name.
That's quite handy, because now I can show you how to delete a contact if you get it wrong like that. So obviously, delete.
The name, please.
Test.
Test. Do you really want to delete?
Yes. Now it's deleted. That's pretty quite handy, that was. So, alright. So we'll try again and get it to work and show you how it does. Save.
The name, please.
Test.
The number, please.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now?
Save. Right, so that's that done. Go back to that. Now if we go into the phone book now, go down to the test one, you'll see it now has the icon. So if I was to then press the button and say call test, it will call that number, but it will cut this video off, which is a nuisance. But hey ho. And that's basically how you set it up. So now, yep, I can ring people by pressing a button as long as I've set it up. It does have some issues sometimes with names, so you have to speak clearly and you should be fine. But other than that, that's pretty much it for the Bluetooth module. It's installed, it's working. I hope this has helped people. And I will catch you a bit later. Bye bye for now.